Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, we are from the fourth group, so we will present our material today. And for the first, it will explained by my friend and for Farah Fadhilah, Challenge yours.
Thank you, Radila Putri Alda. Hello, everyone. My name is Farah Fadhilah, and today I will try to explain about the teaching speaking, and the subtopic is about definition of teaching skills. And please for the thank you. You can look on the screen. It's about the definition of teaching skills. Every teacher needs to mastery the basic teaching skills. Basic teaching skills are really important. These skills are meant to explain the concept related to the learning material. And teaching skills are a pedagogical competence of a teacher. Every teacher needs to mastery this kind of pedagogical competence. Yeah, all of us know that the aim of teaching is to make students able to communicate well, able to understand all the material they are given before. And we move to the speaking. Yeah, speaking is one of the four skill in English basic. English, when you want to learn the basic of English, you need to master these four skills, include the speaking. Speaking is a complex and dynamic skills that involve the use of several simultaneous process, and speaker need to, almost instantly activate the relationship between knowledge and also the skill. So the teacher need to teach the speaking to the student really well, because if the student understood and they can and they able to speak well, it's mean that the teacher is success to teach the speaking. And now let's move to the next slide is about the principle of implementing basic teaching skills. You can see on the screen, the first is about the relevant. Yeah, relevant is the means that there is the suitable in selecting and determining the element of basic skill teaching and to be implemented. And for the second, there is the creativity and innovation. Yeah, creativity and innovation is one thing that a teacher must create in the classroom, because this is very necessary so that the learning atmosphere in the classroom will always like interesting and enjoyable for the students. The third is about accuracy. Yeah, accuracy is a really important in learning in the classroom, because the use of this basic element of teaching skill must base on the accuracy to achieve the goal of the learning process. And then the fourth is utilizations. The use of the basic teaching skills must have value or benefit to improve the quality or of the learning process. And the fifth is generating attention and motivation. This is also important in basic skill, because learning element must increase the attention and motivation of students. If the teacher can gain the attention and motivation of the student will be enjoy in the learning process, and it will affect the outcome when the class is over. And the last is fun. Yeah, fun is a pleasant learning atmosphere. This is one thing that must always be in the classroom, be created by the teacher in the classroom through fun learning activity like games or some ice breaking. The student will feel excited and in the learning according to their potential and talents. So those are the principle of implementing basic teaching skills that need to be pay attention by the teacher. And now it's turned on my friend. Thank you.
All right. So I would like to explain to you about the principle of teaching speaking. All right. So as we know that many students equate being able to speak another language as knowing language, and therefore We're learning language as learning how to speak about another language. All right, so here I would like to explain to you about the principle of teaching speaking. So as you can see that in the PPT, the first point is focus on both fluency and accuracy depending on your objective. All right, so accuracy is the extent of which students' speech matches what people actually say when they use the target of language. So the fluency is the extent how to teach speakers to use language quickly and also confidently. All right. So the next point is provide intrinsically motivating techniques. Right. So try at all times to appeal to student ultimate goals and also interesting in the classroom during the process of learning another language. So their need for knowledge and for status, for achieving competence and also autonomy, and for being all they can be in the classroom. All right. And the third one is about encourage the use of authentic language in meaningful contexts. So this term has been played time and again, it's not easy to keep coming up with meaningful interaction. So we are supposed that the temptation to do and dishonest is a little grammar when we are in speaking. So I think as the teacher, we need to correct the student when they are speaking in front of the classroom. All right, and it's like all right. So the fourth point is provide appropriate feedback and correction. So in most English class, so situation students are totally depend on the teacher feedback and correction for a useful linguistic feedback. And also, as we know that they may get such a feedback out there beyond the classroom. So I think like it is almost of teacher gave us a correction and also a good feedback. So with the hope that we can correct our speaking, so we can communicate well with the other people in another language. All right. So the fifth point is capitalize on the natural link between speaking and also listening. So many interactive techniques that involve speaking will also of course include listening. So as we know that these two scale is have the relation because we don't lose an opportunity to integrate this two scale. And number six is give student opportunities to initiate oral communication. So many interactive technique that involve speaking will also of course include listening. And I think as the teacher, we should give our student opportunities to have an oral communication in the classroom, which is we can ask them about how about their opinion about the topic. So it's been like we will build the student uh, confident when they have to talk in English. All right. So the last one is encourage the development of speaking strategies. So as we know that as the teacher also we should help the student to develop their English as especially because in the speaking class of course that the point of the goals of the class is how to make a student able to be more confident when they are presenting and also when they have a communication with the other people. All right, so for the next we'll explain by my friend.
All right. Now I will explain about method of teaching speaking. Number one is grammar translation method. This method focuses on studying written text and translating them into the student home language. It also emphasizes on learning grammar then to give attention to pronunciation and spoken language. Number two, audio-lingual method. This method derived from of behavior paradigm which focus on providing a stimulus to student response. The correct of student response will be praised in order to strengthen the correct of uh, language use and of course to reinforce discipline in learning. And then number three, communicative approach. This method is based on the theory of language equation that uh, point out to the language use rather than the study of grammar. It emphasizes on creating situation where the student have more than study grammar. And number four is PPP, presentation, practice, and production. This method might be similar to the audiolingual through the use of picture and focus learning. It can also be implemented through presentation and demonstration. And number five, task-based learning. In this method, lecture prepare a task for students to do individually or in a group on a subject or a topic that has not been studied in the classroom. Number six is ESA or engaged study activity. Engage refers to getting the student attention or interest and involving them in a learning. The study involves focusing on a language point. It could be grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, or how a written text is organized. Activity refers to having students use the language in a reality context that is in close to real as possible. And number seven, lexical approach. This method derives the principle that grammar and vocabulary cannot be strictly separated as is often the case in traditional teaching method. A further notion is that language is made up of lexical. A further, a further A further notion is that language made up of lexical items using grammar to support them rather than being made up of grammar structure incorporating lexis. Next slide will be explained by my friend.
Alright, so I will continue to explain about the purpose of teaching speaking. The purpose of the speaking is has a goal of teaching to student can speak communicatively because it is not only about accuracy but it is about a fluency. And then this teaching speaking is about to give the student a communicative effectively in a classroom because communication in classroom is very important and then this is for make the good communication so the teaching learning process is must be really fun with how the lesson want to deal with. And then the goal of teaching speaking is got good for by learning habitual so that the speaking can be the communicative classroom is effective. And then for the the conclusion for this teaching speaking uh, is the teaching speaking is a very important part of second language because this is
for make the classroom make effective, and the student can more be able to speak in a good language, English language. And then teaching this ability communication, um, teach student can speaking clearly and effectively. So the class will be success, and these activities will be more active, and the learning process is more fun and meaningful for them. So that's all from us. Thank you the your your attention for our presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.